It might feel strange, it might feel funny, peculiar, unusual, but these are the 7 signs that you're about to enter a new season in your life. And I want to share them with you today in the hope that you can realize that these are okay, that there's nothing wrong if you're going through these things, and that actually it could be the beginning of an amazing new chapter as you redesign your life. My name is Damien, and these are my videos about how I'm redesigning my life, how I'm going from the life that I was living to the life that I always wanted to live. Now, I've spent more than 20 years working with brands all around the world, helping leaders and executives and teams to transform themselves and to transform their brands. But now I'm using those skills and those techniques that I've learned over all that time to help people connect with what matters, to help them transform their own lives, to create things that they're proud of, that they feel connected to, because in this day and age, we need connection more than ever. So that's what I want to create. I want to do it in myself and I want to do it in others. So if you're enjoying these videos and you're enjoying being on this journey with me, please give me a like and a subscribe below, and then come along today as I share these 7 signs that you're about to enter a new season in your life. The first one of these is that you now feel off in places where you once felt comfortable. Now, this is okay. This is showing that you're actually growing, you're expanding. Think of the analogy of like your old clothes, your small clothes that you wore when you were a child. They won't fit you anymore. They'll be uncomfortable because you're transitioning, you're changing, you're growing, you're expanding. You're entering new chapters of your life. Maybe you've started school, maybe you've graduated, maybe you graduated high school, you're going to university, maybe you've started a new job, new friends, new relationship. Any of those things can mark a change in how you see your life and a need to change your spaces. And I've got another video which I'll link down below about how your spaces and the spaces you have around you can really shape your life. And if you stay in spaces that are confining and are too restrictive for you, that can be a negative. So it's okay if these spaces now feel a bit uncomfortable. Reflect on that. Think about why they're feeling uncomfortable and think about the positive changes that you're making that are now making those spaces that once felt comfortable feel a bit uncomfortable. Remember, it's not always a negative. The second is that your old goals now feel small or irrelevant. Again, your perspectives constantly change. This whole process of living a life, let alone redesigning and creating a life, is ever changing. It's always ongoing. You can't just set and forget. In fact, you need to move towards a destination, not necessarily goals, because the interesting thing about setting goals is that if you haven't reached them yet, you're always going to feel like it's a bit of a failure. You haven't actually achieved it yet. Whereas if you're heading towards a destination, then there's lots and lots of little micro wins, little micro goals that you can experience on the journey towards that without ever having to set the goal that you want to hit, you want to achieve. Because once you hit that, then what next? You might feel a bit deflated or something. You know, I use the analogy often, like if you set a goal that you want to make like $1 million and you make $999,000, is that a failure? No, it's not. It's an incredible achievement. But if you're framing it in that way, it might feel like a failure. So it's okay if the old goals, the goals that you were working towards in the past have shifted, have changed. That doesn't make them any less relevant in the past. It only means that your priorities and the things that matter to you and that you're connecting with have changed. And that's all right. That's why I use the analogy of a compass and why we teach the Wonder Compass in all of our workshops, because that gives you the direction you want to head in. And it's okay if you want to go left and right and back and forward and constantly change your path and move the way that you want to go. Move your destination, move those goals, those waypoints on the way to where you're heading. It's okay to do that. The third one is you're craving solitude. Now, if you've watched some of my other videos, you're going to see why this is so important. The more connected you become, the more present you become, the more importance you're going to place on silence and stillness and solitude. The world around you isn't going to feel the same way, but you're going to crave that more because you're going to become a little bit more connected with what matters. Your life is changing, as I said. You're entering this new season of life, so you're going to want a little bit more silence and stillness so you can reflect, do a bit of self-analysis and continue to build and to grow yourself. So embrace that, find those moments, carve out that silence and that stillness, and then take it and enjoy that time. Another sign that you're moving into a new period of your life is that friendships, old friendships, now feel misaligned. That's fine. Again, it's similar to the spaces we talked about before. So you'll outgrow some spaces, you'll outgrow some friendships. That doesn't mean you have to never see these people again, but maybe your priorities have changed. Maybe you've got new friends, new associates, or you're moving in a completely new direction, and that's okay. You'll make new friends, you'll make new acquaintances, and if those friends are good friends, they'll understand and support you on this journey. And if they're not, maybe sometimes you need to do a bit of reflection on whether they're actually the best people to have around you in the first place, because sometimes they aren't. And whilst that might be hard and provide a bit of a challenge and a bit of difficulty for you to move away from them, in the end, you're moving in this new chapter of your life, and it's your life. You don't want to be living the life that other people want you to live. And if those people are holding you back, then maybe it's time to cast them away. The fifth sign is that you're feeling more sensitive, more emotional. Now, some people are going to think that this is a negative thing. This is a challenge they've got to overcome if they want to take that next step in their life. But it's not necessarily. This just means that you're more attuned. You're more aware of your body and how you're feeling and how you're reacting to the world around you. The world around you is chaotic, and if you always switch into autopilot, then you end up numbing yourself. You end up pulling yourself down and sort of blending out those emotions, ignoring them even, pushing them away. But don't embrace them, because each one of those reactions, those feelings, can teach you valuable lessons about why you're feeling that. And you can use that to then learn and to continue to grow. So it's not a negative thing if you're starting to feel that way. Embrace it and actually spend the time when you're doing that stillness, when you're doing that reflection. Think about those feelings, own them, name them, label them, feel with them, and then learn from them and move forward. Another thing that you're going to be finding if you're starting to move into these new chapters of your life is sudden bursts of clarity. And these can be amazing and empowering. And if you can harness them, they can really accelerate this change in your life. And it's coming from the fact that you're slowing down. You're using some of the techniques we're talking about in a series of these videos. You're perhaps reading, meditating, connecting. You're just seeing the world a little bit more clearly. So when you're starting to do that, you're seeing the world and not just looking at it. Of course, you're going to start to see things more clearly. Of course, you're going to have clarity. And that's great. That gives you the opportunity to see all the potential things out there that you can achieve, all of the things out there that you can experience, and all the opportunities to make meaning. That's actually a really exciting thing. And it can be overwhelming. Like all of a sudden you see this amazing technicolor world around you and it might feel overwhelming. But just take it one piece at a time. Continue the way that you've been moving up until that point. Take those 1 or 2 steps into that new world, that bright technicolor world, and own that, enjoy that, because you're going to want to build that more and more as you move forward. And the final thing is that you don't want to go backwards. You feel this sudden fear that you've come this far and that you're going to fall backwards. And I'm here to tell you that that's just not true. Because it's not like you're climbing a mountain. These things are becoming part of you. You can't necessarily lose them. You can't lose these lessons. Yes, you might have to take a new path all of a sudden. Yes, you might have to go in a different direction to get you around obstacles, to get you around challenges. And that's fine. But these skills, these lessons, these things that we're going through on this whole journey will stay with us and will help us as we go forward. So while it can feel a little bit threatening because you feel like you're making some momentum, you're moving towards where you want to be moving towards, you're starting to build this new life, you're starting to design the life that you want to live, and you don't want to go backwards, just reflect on that feeling. Ask yourself why you're feeling that. Think about it. But know that those lessons are now a part of you. They're a part of your design, and they can help you as you move forward. So just don't worry about that. Don't fear that. Own it, become brave, and go forward. I know it can be exciting, thrilling, and incredibly daunting when you sense that you're about to take this next step, when you're about to move into this new chapter of your life. But just know that you're not broken. You're not flawed. There's nothing wrong with these feelings. Yes, some of them may be perceived as negative in broader society, or you may feel a bit unsure about them. And that's fine. This isn't an easy path that we're taking to redesign and create our life. It's not. It's a challenging journey, but it's a rewarding one. So own those feelings, own those emotions, sit with them. You're not broken. You're just updating your operating system. You're updating the system that drives you. And that's an amazing thing. You level up. You go to the next iteration of the operating system inside you. And that's going to make you a more connected person. You're going to be able to find much more meaning in the world, and you're going to have a greater sense of self moving forward. And that's just a fantastic thing. I'm so excited for you if you're feeling these things. But thank you for watching the video today. I hope you got something out of it. If anything at all, just know that you're not alone on this journey. There's hundreds of thousands of people all around the world going through this same experience. So just feel what you're feeling, own it, and just move forward knowing that this is a hard journey, but it's one that's so worthwhile taking. And I'll see you next week. Thank you again.